But boys, let's move into the final topic, and it's Zion Williamson, and it's if he's NBA ready. We saw him for the first time in college on November 6th. They beat up on Kentucky, 118-84. An impressive performance from Zion and the Duke Blue Devils. He had 28 points, went 1 for 1 from 3, 11 of 13 from the field, had 7 boards, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 steal as well. Also had 3 offensive boards. Incredible performance from R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish, but Zion is the guy we're focusing on because high percentage field goal percentage-wise, absolutely dominated that game. Highlight reels left and right. I mean, I know Dominique was the human highlight reel, but this kid might be able to take that over from Dominique. What were you guys' first impressions seeing Zion in a Duke uni?
Holy shit. Just holy shit. That was one of the most dominant performances coming out of the gates, and he only played 23 minutes. Mm-hmm. And he was doing everything. I think I was most impressed by his footwork. For a guy of his size at 285, he was able to easily navigate the lane, easily make dime passes, like just on the spot, perfect location. For a man his size, he should not move that well. He is explosive, he is quick, and he has great vision so far. Like, it's one game. I don't want to overact, but holy shit.
No, for
What's
me,
your first reaction?
2 things. First off, I feel sorry for Cam Reddish because although he's going to be the 3rd best player in this draft class, we're going to kind of push him off to the side a lot this year, and it's going to be R.J. Barrett versus Zion Williamson for draft talk. Who should be taking 1? Who should be taking 2? And
it's a little preemptive.
And I look at this. This is more preemptive. You ready for this? I was talking to Dave yesterday at dinner. We went, in my childhood, I saw the greatest player ever to play in Michael Jordan. And we went from him to LeBron James.
Oh, fuck.
Zion Williamson. LeBron is at the end. He's kind of teetering off. Zion will become the next guy that we call the greatest player in the NBA. I'm not saying GOAT discussion. I'm saying he will be the next one that we say, this is the best guy in the league. This is the best player in the league.
Sean?
What?
He doesn't, I know it's one game.
It is one game in college.
The reason why I am saying this...
You put him up in the pedestal of Jordan and LeBron.
And this is why I am saying this, because Brandon knows. I am upset with Brandon right now because we were supposed to do a big board for the Primetime Podcast. I had Zion, and Brandon can say all he wants, and I'm not the only one. I'm in the minority that had Zion number 1 before this team even played a game.
You had him in our way too early mock draft.
I am the highest. I mean, I had him 5 overall in our mock draft. Okay. You guys had him at 7, but I mean,
big disrespect.
This was a guy that after looking at the tape from all 3 of them, I was like, yeah, I like Zion better. I like what this kid can do because he's got all of it. Like, he's got the size, he's got the athleticism, he can shoot from, I know he only went 1 and 1 from 3, but he can shoot the ball, he can dunk the ball, he can block, he can rebound. This is going to be the guy you look at and go, he can play defense, offense, do everything. Everything you need, he'll do it for you. The only thing that will hurt Zion, and I'm knocking on wood hard here, is if he gets injured, and I'm hoping he doesn't.
Jesus Christ.
How do you follow that up, Sean?
Come on.
He's just anointed the next king.
Here's the thing, was I incredibly impressed with what Zion Williamson did? 100%. There is no way you cannot look at that highlight reel and just be absolutely floored by what he did. From that block that he had, then running up floor on the left side, then bouncing it, bounce pass right there perfectly to, I think it was R.J. Barrett, who finishes and cleans it up at the hole. 100%. A couple of dunks that he had were just jaw-dropping at what he did. Even, grabbing boards is impressive from this kid.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about the 2 greatest players that have ever put on an NBA jersey, and LeBron James and Michael Jordan. That is way too fast, and you gotta know that. Because we do not know what he will do in a competition level. He's playing with 2 of the two of the other best.
I'll say it right here. This team's going to go undefeated.
I'm trying to say that you're wrong.
This team's going undefeated. They ain't going to lose a game this year. That's how I feel after
And when they lose, everyone's going to be like, you were wrong. I mean, it's not too crazy of a hot take to say that they're going undefeated because they get to play, Army in Eastern Washington next. They're going to be undefeated after those 3 games. No, I know. For the whole season. They're going to win the national championship. They're not going to finish with a loss. I know what you're saying. I'm just saying, you're saying that after 1 game, if you call it, cool. If you don't, no one's going to care because you call that after 1 game. But no, let me talk. you're putting him up on a very high pedestal.
Yeah.
People like LeBron was the last person people did this with.
Yeah.
And that was coming out of high school, and people knew out of high school that he was the king. People knew this. People didn't do this with Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant's the second best player in the NBA. Like, to have that much talent, it's pretty obvious. And you can make the argument that Jordan didn't have that because obviously, he wasn't the first overall pick. He was third.
He wasn't even
He wasn't
the
even
thing
the
that
GOAT
separated
until like, eighth year in the league? Until he started winning championships?
Well, no, but I'm saying he wasn't the best player in his draft class is what I was saying.
Yeah.
LeBron was. But with Zion, we don't know if he has that next level edge, and we will never know that until he hits his 5th, 6th year in the NBA. So you can't call it after one game because it's just utterly ridiculous to put him in that breath.
I'm looking into my crystal ball, and I can see
your crystal ball is cloudy and broken, dude.
And another reason why I can say that is one of the biggest things that is going to help Zion that is going to be totally different with like RJ Barrett will be one of them, and most of the guys in draft, it's like, man, we're gonna wait till he gets to the league and he puts on some muscle there. Sorry, I hit your water bottle there, Dave. But he's got to put on some muscle. Zion's so big, it's like he's gonna come in and he's not gonna be what I think he's gonna be day one in the NBA. But I'm talking about when LeBron is officially retired, because that day is coming. Zion will develop. I can see it. My prediction is he will develop into the guy that is the best player in the league.
Right now, who are you taking?
Number one?
No, right now who are you taking? Luka Doncic for the rest of his career, or Zion Williamson?
Zion Williamson.
Ben Simmons or Zion Williamson?
Zion Williamson.
Jason Tatum or Zion Williamson?
Zion Williamson. That one was the easiest out of the three. Ben was the hardest. Luka was the second hardest. Jason Tatum was the easiest to answer out of the three.
Dave,
like that is how confident I feel in
sense
Zion.
To me. Just talk some sense on this podcast.
I think
because this is not where I was going. I was asking if he's NBA ready. Ricky's like, he's not NBA ready. He's NBA Hall of Fame ready.
Yep.
My God, what the hell?
He is going to be the.
We get it. We've heard you. You're wrong. My God.
We'll see.
You're a broken record. Yeah, we'll wait. We'll have to wait until I'm 35 years old and have 3 kids. Like,
we'll see.
Or is he? Or is he wrong? No.
I don't know. Answer the question. It's a weird pause.
Suspense.
This is like a horrible segment. Just he's like, hey, he's going to be as good as Michael Jordan, the LeBron James kid. I can't wait till this kid's in the NBA Finals. What team is he going to be on? What is the organizational structure going to be like? LeBron didn't win a Finals until he left Cleveland. We don't know what his career is going to be. Talent-wise, maybe he walks in and he's going to be the best athlete right away, day one in the NBA. You can have a very solid argument that he can be the best athlete in the NBA next year because he's a 6'7", 280-pound kid with a 44, vertical and can run the floor like nothing. He is a fantastic athlete, but we have no idea if he has that next level championship DNA to take a team to the NBA Finals. We don't even know if he's going to be the guy that takes Duke to that undefeated season, if that is your prophecy. It might be RJ Barrett because I saw RJ Barrett put up 33 in that game. He wasn't in foul trouble. He led that Duke team. Arguably, RJ Barrett had a more impressive night, at least from a basketball standpoint, than the highlight reel of Zion Williamson. So this might be talking like Steve Nash versus Jason Williams. If you're looking at, Jason White Chocolate Williams, he had a better highlight reel than Steve Nash. But Steve Nash is a Hall of Famer. J. Will is not. So, I mean,
RJ Barrett did have a Kobe game where he just shot it a shit ton of times. He had 26 attempts that game. That's a lot of attempts.
Yeah, he scored 33 points and was still
26
efficient.
attempts, 33. I mean, he's a lot of shots. It's a lot of shots. I'm just saying.
He was
Zion didn't need that many.
50% from the field.
Zion didn't need that many shots. That's all I'm saying. No, look, Sean, in all seriousness, Zion comes in, and I think he is exactly what the NBA needs. Like, we were impressed by Marvin Bagley's motor and his physicality last year. Like, this kid has incredible athletics to him. And then Zion Williamson takes that and makes him look like a fucking dumpster.
100%.
It's just, that man's a sack of potatoes compared to Zion Williamson. It is insane to think that there's only one guy bigger in the NBA than him. That's Boban. Boban's the only man in the NBA heavier than Zion Williamson is. Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It might be JV, but I think Boban is the only one for official measured in weight, which who knows what they're at, plain weight, but official weight, that's what it is. It's insane. This man has pythons for arms and legs. He's got tree trunks. It's just, you can't talk enough about what he is physically. And I think that's where it's impressive is we talked about LeBron being fantastic in high school. And he was you know, like we're talking about, he was anointed the next king. He was the next coming for the NBA because of he was already there physically. He also had the game to get to the hoop at will. He had the passing vision. He had every tool there is. Zion Williamson in high school was a kid dominated a bunch of smaller kids, dunking on everyone. We didn't see what Zion could do with a full team. We didn't see what he could do outside of that one small scope of Zion gets the ball, Zion dunks, gets ball, dunks, gets ball, dunks. Now we're seeing him pass, and we're seeing him take an open three. We're seeing plays develop with him being off ball, on ball. Like, this is what I'm intrigued about.
With a coach who has worked with NBA level talent.
Exactly. So now you put one of the most physically gifted athletes on a team in a position where you can really see, like, is he a five-tool kind of guy? Like, I'm stealing the baseball term of a five-tool player, but, like, really, how much does he have, or how much is he riding on his athleticism? Because we all know one injury can take down an athlete of his caliber. Well, but if he has the other tools around his game, he's going to be good to go.
And when I was watching him, I think I texted you guys this. He reminded me of Derrick Rose, but in a 6'7", 280-pound body. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
And that's putting him on the level.
Can he land?
And that's putting him on the level of a Rookie of the Year and MVP. Again, I'm not saying this kid isn't talented.
Yeah.
But coming out with the hot take that he's going to be as good as LeBron James, the next LeBron James, he's going to be the torchbearer in the NBA. I'm going to get a little bit upset with that because these are guys that are literally multiple-time MVPs, guys that have been, near the top of the top 5 in scoring. They have been, some of the most impressive players we have ever seen. We've never seen Zion Williamson take a game-winning shot. We've never seen Zion Williamson in a big pressure game.
That either, to be fair.
What's that?
Taking shots at LeBron over here, taking game-winning shots.
Orlando 2000.
I'm just being a dick.
Toronto last year.
Needed Kyrie.
I understand. There's been multiple times where LeBron has hit that big shot.
It took him a long time to get there. That's all I'm saying. That was the biggest knock on him in his early career. But what I'm saying
is coming out of against the hot take, we don't know what Zion's going to do.
True.
In a high-pressure situation. Right now, he's performing great in college. He went 11 of 13. He also is playing with two of the best other high school prospects coming out this year in Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett. So it's not like he's on a team with a lack of talent. He's on a very talented team with even Trey Jones, who's most likely going to be a top 10 pick. He's on a team with 3 other top 10 picks. And he has a fantastic coach in Coach K. What if he goes to, let's say the Atlanta Hawks? Maybe he goes to the team let's
Cleveland. You put him in Cleveland.
What if we put him in Cleveland? What if you put him in Chicago? Fred Hoiberg might not last this year. So he's not going to have a lot of organizational stability around him with a
Chicago
coach.
wouldn't be bad, though.
No, but I'm saying is when to grow a player, you need organizational stability. So
could you imagine him having to grow in the shadow of LeBron James? If Cleveland
or Michael Jordan
rolls the dice and gets another
but
number one pick.
Michael, we wouldn't be comparing him to Michael.
You just did.
No. But I'm saying people
physicality
now he'd be closer to
physically.
LeBron came in after Michael. LeBron came in after Michael. Many people, especially younger fans coming in that don't remember Michael, it'll be, we're going to compare him to LeBron James.
Yeah. No, I understand it. But even when I think you were even saying physicality-wise, Zion's bigger than Michael Jordan. Zion's also bigger than LeBron James.
But LeBron's 6'8", 250, Zion 6'7", 280, 285. So,
that's bigger.
Oh, he's bigger. But at the same time, I think that, do you think, let me actually take this different direction. I'm sick of the hype. I'm sick of all that shit. How do you think he's going to play in the NBA? Do you think he's a 4? Do you think he's going to play in a similar style to a Draymond Green, but with more scoring through him? He's going to be that Fat K Love role in Timberwolves as far as being the star of a team, but he's a monster.
That's why I was getting, we kind of got off the rails.
I want to put him on the Cavs,
and it's my fault.
This next year.
What if he went to the Wizards?
Okay,
the Wizards are not going to be that bad all year.
Let's stop throwing out teams and let's answer Dave's question first. Because we got off the rails with your hot take and then my reaction to the hot take.
To answer Dave's question, the first thing that I thought in my head, and don't take this name and do what I did before, but what if it's a similar thing that we do at Giannis, where it's what position is Giannis? Well, he's not a 4. What if he fits into more of a positionless basketball? Where it's he's not a 4, he's not a 1, he's not a 2.
That's fine, but we're not saying
Dave's modeled after.
Yeah, that's what Dave's saying is what is his role? Even though it's positionless basketball, what is his role going to be? Is he going to be like Giannis and they're going to put the ball in his hands and he's going to bring the ball? He's going to be like a LeBron and he's going to be like a point forward.
I'll put it this way: he's a little bit of Draymond with a little bit of Giannis, where he's not going to be. Ways? He's not going to be as Giannis can handle the ball like a point guard. yes, Zion can handle the ball, but I don't think he'll be the one bringing it up all the time like a Ben Simmons and a Giannis do. But he can be that Draymond where it's like, hey, I can do, on top of scoring, I can do everything else in rebounding, blocking, passing the ball out to an open player because like he is going to be playing with RJ Barrett, who it's not like I have to score and I have to score everything for us to win. No, I'm going to pass it off to RJ.
But what have you seen that at least gives you the inkling that he can bring the ball up and run an offense in limited time, like what you're saying? He's not going to be a Ben Simmons like you were saying,
I think
but you're expecting him to be a point forward in some ways.
From what I've seen in this one game is that fast break that he had, that is him bringing the ball up. He's not going to be one that brings one up and sets the offense. He's going to be that guy where it's like, wow, this huge 6'7" guy is able to run the ball in transition and score.
That's just running the fast break, though, and I think that's where he's NBA ready. There's no way you're going to be able to stop him. If you take a charge, you're going to be concussed. If you try to block him, you're going to be concussed. Like
Nice.
He's going to be able to run the fast break, and he's going to be able to pass it. But again, when you need to play actual basketball, and you're not, I know it's obviously basketball, but like when you need to be in sets, either full court sets, half court sets, and you're running plays, what is his role going to be? I don't think he's ever going to be in that point forward situation because that's a little bit different than what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen
And I'm not
just
saying
any
he's going
forward,
to be a point forward.
Aaron Gordon's been a guy that can bring the ball up and move the ball in transition and take a rebound
Justice
and move
Winslow.
up. Yeah, Justice as well. I mean, like, that's not too crazy. He might be one of the better players at doing that, but I don't think that really defines his role because I don't think he's going to be a guy that, again, he's going to be dribbling the ball up top. I think he might be, and I think his possible situation, depending on his passing, because this guy's passing is next level, maybe he can end up being a guy who is like a Nikola Jokic, where the offense isn't really technically run through him. He's not getting, for sure 15 shots a night, but he is a guy that is really involved on every single play. He's going to be a guy that, with his big body, he's going to be setting up picks. And then, they can dump it off to him at the top of the key, and then with his passing ability, dump it down low, or with his incredible athletic ability, iso ball, drive in, dish out, or attack the basket. I think that what he might be, and that really ends up putting him into a 5 role. Because I don't think he's going to be a guy that brings up the ball like you were saying. I don't think he's going to be like a Giannis or Ben Simmons every time he's going to be a point forward. I think he's going to be more of a guy that's going to work in a system as an offensive player and go after it. I think also defensively, he's going to go up against a guy that's at least near his size, or if they are playing small ball, I think he can honestly guard 5s. I think he's going to be able to guard anyone from probably like the 1 to the 5. I don't really see any limitations with him defensively because he's quick enough to stick with ones.
I mean,
and maybe if he's going up against a guy like
level ones.
If he's going up against a guy like a Kyrie Irving, I totally see his ass getting smoked.
Yeah.
But like if he's going up against a guy like a Jeff Teague, I don't know if Jeff Teague's handles are going to wow him. So he can probably go up against ones that are like, middle of the road to bench guys.
Yeah. So my bold, comparison as far as his play style is going to be like take the muscle mass of like a Brody for his position. Like this guy's yoked basically, but he's playing like a shitty rebounding Kevin Garnett. Like he has the ability to be one of the best power forwards physically in his role. I think he can score.
Well, real quick, why do you not think he will be able to be a great rebounder? Because that's the one thing that I think he's going to be able to do with his incredible.
Kevin Garnett was one of the best rebounders for his position. That's why I'm like afraid to say it because like KG averaged 14 rebounds or just shy of 14 rebounds a couple of years. Like he was a 12 to 14 range was his zone, and that's why I was like, look, I'm gonna bring it down and say like, look, if he puts up like,
I think he's gonna be a guy that can average double-double.
I think that's the thing.
Like a 10 and 10 his rookie year. Like he's definitely gonna be able to.
So here's the thing. I think positionally, or I think it matters a lot on where he lands as far as what will be available to him. But what I see out of him is someone who is big, strong, fast, has good court vision, seems to have a very great knack for having like quick feet and being able to have some handle to him.
He's making move like I'm rewatching the film.
Yeah,
and he's making moves that point guards do.
Right,
like,
his handles are there.
Like between the legs, like how he leans off of a defender and spins around him. Like I'm watching him drive to the basket, and it's like point guards do this, not 6'7" power forwards.
Right. So that's I go towards the guy who was one of the best power forwards of all time. Like I think he was the only guy to have like I forget the numbers. But it was like some stupid amount of rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, points. The combination has basically been unheard of. It's Kevin Garnett. Like you have a guy who can dominate the low post, who can stretch the floor out, who is great passing out of the post, great passing at the top of the key, and absolutely is someone who I think that Zion on the right team is a 20-point-a-game scorer.
Well, I think Kevin Garnett was, I think this was a pro comp, like at a very top end was a guy like Jaren Jackson. Right? Was that a pro comp or was that Marvin Bagley? One of them was compared to Kevin Garnett.
I don't remember.
I just don't.
I remember
know
it being said, but I don't remember.
I just don't think that.
I don't see either of those guys with the passing ability that Garnett had and that I see out of Zion already.
Well, I think it was probably Jackson because Jaren averaged like 4 assists per game, I think, in college. But I think like I don't think he's going to be in that mold though still because I think he's going to play more near the top of the arc. Although he might not be a great 3-point shooter, he's going to be more deadly when he has that time to explode and separate.
Well, that's the thing.
So I don't think he's ever going to be a low
in.
post player. Like obviously he has post ups, and if he has the right matchup, he'll be able to put his body into somebody and back him down.
But you want to see him be a slashing wing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I think he might be more of a slashing wing.
So Brody plus KG.
Yeah.
Somewhere in between.
I mean, he's such an interesting player. Like Ricky's trying to bring up.
Let's
It's
just put
tough
it this
to
way.
find
You're trying to find
a role
the like
for him.
Derrick Rose, and I go to the other guy in that draft and Brody, and it's like, look.
Why don't we just say this?
there.
He's going to be probably the first player that we've ever seen that can develop into that guy to where I can do it all. Where it's like, hey, you know what?
LeBron's already there.
If we
What are you
need
talking about?
like 6'7", 270 guy where it's like, hey, I'm gonna come out, run, like we need someone to run this set. I can do it. Kind of like what I'm going to say, what you said. Like Derrick Rose on the Bulls, MVP season, like how he was driving to the lane. But he can also be that guy, hey, I'm going to be like the power forward that backs you in and kind of puts up a little jump hook, a little finesse. Or that guy, hey, I'm going to back you down, spin around you, and just flush it. And like I look at, there are like just in this one little clip I'm watching, like the clips that they're putting up there, I'm like, I'm seeing 3 different players in one guy right now. And I know it's one guy, I know it's a different level.
It's one game.
But
I'm seeing 3 different play styles, 3 different types of players in one guy right now.
in that you have seen players like that, though. I mean, we saw LeBron James do that. LeBron James, I mean, against the Toronto Raptors last year, he's put his back. I know that's what you're trying to say.
And
is
that's
that
what
why
I
you
said
think
at
he's
the
gonna be
beginning,
great.
yeah.
But I don't think he, again, when you're comparing him to a LeBron James, when you're comparing him to a Michael Jordan, those guys
I'm
got
putting
hit
a
with
lot on him.
Yes, and those guys were able to take those those abilities. And if LeBron flamed out, like I don't think too many people would be shocked if he cracked under the pressure. Obviously, he hasn't, and he's rose to one of the biggest stars of all time. But that takes a next level person to be able to handle it. A guy that like D Rose wasn't able to bounce back from those injuries. D Rose wasn't able to fully handle the life of the NBA as we saw him disappear. Unfortunately, when he was in New York. Like sometimes guys are able to take that on. We don't know what Zion's personality is going to be like once he becomes a pro, and that's a large part of becoming one of the greatest players of all times. Being up there like a LeBron James, like a Michael Jordan. That's why I think the comparison's so crazy because we have seen Michael. Obviously, we know the story from high school. He didn't
even get to be a
to
starter.
make the JV team and then got cut and whatever, made the varsity team, and now he's one of the greatest players of all time. Like he had that.
Zion's
he
been
had
on
that fight
Instagram
back.
with like over 1 million followers since like his junior year of high school.
Yeah, but then how does that actually translate to
Like, he
NBA
seems-
pressure? Because
No,
there's
I
no
get
pressure
that.
in high school. Like you're just going up there and you're like, okay, I'm the best athlete, I'm the best player.
not
Everybody
even
knows
close,
it.
yeah.
I'm going to destroy you.
Yep.
And in college, all right, I'm the best athlete out here still. And I'm going up against Kentucky, who's the second recruiting class in the league so far. But I also have R.J. Barrett, I have Cam Reddish, and I have and Trey Jones, and I have the best coach of all time, or one of the best coaches in college history, in Coach K next to me. Like I don't know what he's going to be like at that next level.
Maybe I don't
being the number one on a team, and that's my point.
Well, and here's the thing. Maybe I don't have that worry about him because although you can't say it for everyone because there's a few people that are different, not everyone's the exact same, but for the most part, when I think of players that have played for Coach K at Duke, not many of them scream to me that guy who was, like you were saying, pressure. Like Derrick Rose is a perfect example. Couldn't get past the injuries. Like Karl Anthony Towns is another one where it was like #1 pick, and there are times where people kind of question his mentality and his mental structure for the game. Where it's like Duke players, like look at Jason Tatum. I know it's a small one example, but like he comes in 3rd pick, and then takes over the Celtic team when two of their top 2 stars go down with injury.
But then let's also see how he's been reacting so far through 9 or 12 games. He's been performing horribly. People think he's contracted Kobe disease, and he's a guy that's shooting up terrible shots. He's shooting mid-range jumpers early into the shot clock, and he doesn't look like the same player. So, I mean, again, it takes a lot to be a great player. And I don't think that Jason Tatum's done and dead. Hold on. I don't think Jason Tatum's done and dead, but again, it's going to take a lot to take that and move on. I think the guy that you're looking for, at least in that Duke system, who's played under Coach K, there's 2 of them. Grant Hill, who was on the track to be one of the best players of all time, but unfortunately was derailed was unfortunately derailed against injuries. And the guy who's Jason Tatum's teammate, Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 guys that you can look at, number 1 picks, best players in their draft class, guys who were looked at as the next best players. And so far, Kyrie's been very good. Kyrie's been, an all-star, an all-NBA team player, but also we have never seen him as the best point guard in the NBA. And Grant Hill, unfortunately, due to his injuries, and Kyrie as well, weren't able to take over that manscape and that what's it called?
Landscape. You say manscape?
Mantle.
Yeah, the manscape.
That's what I was
November.
trying to say. But landscape and mantle. Manscape.
The thing you have to understand too is like when I made my proclamation, my prediction, it's not like he's going to be drafted and all right, day 1, he's going to be the best player in the NBA. I'm saying more 8 years into his career, 5-8 years, he will be like, he'll develop. I can see him developing into that because like you say, oh, well, I have to worry about what this. I think all of those questions that you have are going to be answered this year. That's why. And I have no I have no worry with it. Because I think they are going to face adversity. Like, they might not face adversity in non-conference, but like ACC, they'll face a little adversity.
Do they face adversity if they lose? Well, I mean, like, if they don't lose, do they face adversity?
Yes, because I think there will be. I think that one of the UNC games will be close. I think that one of the tournament games will be close. Like the conference tournament games will be close. The way I think back to it is look at the Illinois team that only lost 2 games.
Yeah.
Did they face adversity? Yeah, they lost to. Even if the loss to OSU didn't happen or the loss in the national championship, did they face adversity? Hell yeah, that Arizona game was insane. We almost lost that game.
Yeah, I remember
watching that
double
game. Overtime
16
game.
points.
And there are going to be games like that this season, even if they go undefeated. And I think in those moments, Zion will answer the questions that you are asking.
But why? What speaks upon that? Just because he's a great athlete, just because he's extremely impressive on the floor.
I'm just saying, every question you have, like, can he take a final shot? Can he do this? He's going to answer in a moment in that game where you go, yes, okay, that is answered.
But what are you basing that off of? You just believe that.
Yeah, I know.
There's no basis off of that.
Sometimes it's just faith, Sean. Sometimes you got to have
faith there
and just believe because I just don't think, and this could be a little faith, a little prediction. I just don't think I'll see that failure.
If you want the best one-take hot game reactions, look no further than the 76ers and Michael Carter Williams. Coming out that draft, he dad-dicked the goddamn Heatles. First game, goes in there and just dumps all over them. And I mean, like, if you want to talk about like just being way off on what a player can be, that is the one game hot take. And that's why I say, look, as much as we saw out of him, as impressive as he was, I would not be ready to crown him yet. Because, yes, playstyle-wise, we want him to be the next LeBron James. Oh, my God, look how good at passing he is. Look how big he is. Look how quick he is. Look how strong he is. He can do everything LeBron can do, except he's a little bit bigger. So he's the next LeBron. I mean, like, I see him similar vein, but, like, you have to be realistic with he's playing against, yes, they're the number 2 team in the nation, but they're still college kids. And we have to watch many games. You can't just take one game and say, this is definitely who that player is. Like, if you watch, everybody has good nights, everybody has bad nights. I'm not saying that he's going to go 11 of 13 every night and just kill it in limited minutes. I think that we're going to have to watch the whole season. Do I think he's a top 5 talent in this draft class? Absolutely. Do I think that he demands to be number 1 because he is a physical specimen we've not seen and a potential combo of skills we haven't seen since someone like LeBron James? Not yet. Like, let's hold it on that. He looked great. No denying it. But, like, that's your first polished game for national TV. Do you know how prepped he was for that game? Let me see how he's playing in the spring. Let me see how he's doing at that point of the year when, you know, they're 20 games into the season and they're coming off their first loss of the year or something. Like, let's see who he is at that point. And that's what Sean's getting to. He wants to see.
I get where you're coming from, but like I look at it,
faithing one game, and that's what terrifies me.
And everything that, like, when he comes in, let's say rookie year, game 1,
Yeah.
I'm not expecting best player in the league, Zion Williamson. I am saying I am looking what I have seen and what can develop, and I'm saying 5 to 8 years, like, as he develops, that it's going to, much like LeBron, where he developed into the player he is, Zion will develop, and barring any injury, hoping he doesn't get him, that we will, 5 years, 8 years into his NBA career, he will then take the mantle and become the best player in the NBA. That is the potential I see in him. Could it not happen? Yes, it can happen. But that is the potential I see, the ceiling that I see for Zion.
My thing is just like, it's just so much that potential that you're saying. And I'm not saying that, you know, his athletic build, his body does not deserve that potential. But, like, sometimes I think there are unrealistic caps. And even saying back when LeBron James was coming out that he would be this good it's you know, I think that was the one kid that you can be like, all right, we can for sure put faith into it that he could possibly hit that. But even then, it is a long shot because we don't know what's going to happen throughout his career. We don't know how he's going to handle adversity. Same with Jordan. No one thought he was ever going to be that way. We don't know these things until they hit that 8th year. Yeah. And I don't think you could say it that they will possibly hit that even after one game in college. I just think that it's even too much to even put that potential cap on him because you are giving him the whole world, and I don't know what he's done to deserve it. He's been phenomenally impressive. The kid's a freak, an athletic freak. You look at players' games who have put up the field goal percentage that he did, the points that he did, and had the offensive rebounds. Nobody's done that since 2010. No one's ever done 28%, 11 to 13, or anything better than 84% and grabbed 3 offensive boards. No one has ever done that since 2010 in college basketball. The kid's a freak.
Think of it more this way. I'm not calling him the greatest player in the NBA, let's say 10 years down the line. I'm not calling him the greatest player right now. I'm saying he has the potential to. And obviously, anything can happen to where he can't get that potential. But that is where it's like the ceiling is the roof for him. But the ceiling is the roof.
I just disagree with that because I think that's there needs to be a realistic potential for him, and that is not realistic potential. I don't think anyone really warrants that unless they are literally breathtaking. And I think
he took my breath away.
But again,
a couple times.
I just think that,
Take my breath away.
He's been impressive, but there's also reasons to say, all right, can he consistently do this and then do it not only in college for 34 games or 37, 38, whatever it is. Can he do this again in the NBA? And can he do that? And can he go through the struggles? And can he play on shitty teams and turn into a star? Or will he be a guy that turns into a great rebounder? Like Andre Drummond, go back and look at his college highlights. The kid was throwing down like 360 dunks and still grabbing 40 boards and 40 points. Like, he's not able to take that next step, though, to become a great NBA player, although he has all the athletic ability and the body to.
And that's the great thing about these. We'll see if we're right or we'll see if we're wrong.
But my thing is also, no one's ever going to look back at this 9 years and be like, wow, this guy got it. Or, look back at 9 years and be like, oh, wow, this guy was totally off.
There's a couple that might.
For those 4 fans, 9 years later.
That's even too much. For the person named Ricky Widmer who's going to look back and be like, man, I got it right. Or, man, I got it wrong. I don't think this is a realistic take because we'll never be able to, I think, talk about that.
Give me his stat line at the end of this year for Duke.
That's a fun one.
And then give me his stat line for the end of the year, Duke, and then his stat line for his end of his rookie year on the Cavs. Give me those two, because I'm curious. What do you think he's going to be a primary scoring option? Do you think he's going to constantly put up over 20 a night, or do you think he's going to take a lesser role?
I can't speak to the NBA ones because I don't know what the team will be like.
Just to help you, he'll have Colin Sexton.
Yep.
He'll have probably Larry Nance Jr. and he'll have K-Love probably for sure.
And Jetty Osman.
Yes, and Osman.
I'm going to give you the college one. I'm going to go bold here.
Yeah.
So stick with me. I'm going to say he averages not only a double-double a night, he's going to be at least 20 and 10 guy with 20 points, 10 rebounds, maybe 4 or 5 assists per game. Maybe 3 to 5 assists. 3 is low, 5 is high.
I don't think that's crazy. I don't
In college, but like in the NBA,
what
it's
I'm saying is, like, I
also-
mean, let's look at his, a kid from Duke last year. I mean, Marvin Bagley did that, and I would say I'm more impressed with Zion than I am with Marvin Bagley. The only thing
now he could average like maybe 2 blocks a game. Like, or even more than that per game, because I think defensively he's a lot better than what Marvin Bagley was.
But Bagley was also longer, taller, and put in more situations for blocks. I mean, he's mostly guarding guys in the paint, and turn around, throw.
Well, and I mean Bagley defensively too. There were times they'd take him off the court just so Wendell can get the team right defensively.
Block stats do not define how good you are as a defender.
Yeah.
I mean, Hassan Whiteside and DeAndre Jordan were never the best defenders in the NBA.
But I'm saying now, take block stats away. I think that Zion, we're going to look at Zion this year
2010-3
and say he's better defensively than Bagley.
All right.
No, of course. I think he's better defensively than Bagley right now. I just said he can defend 1 through 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy.
Yeah.
I just think, like, rookie year, like, he could be a guy that comes in and puts up 20 points. But I think, like, the biggest thing that you're going to for sure get in him, he's going to be a guy that's not going to really hurt your offense, but I don't think he's going to be a number 1 scorer, maybe, possibly ever, on your team.
That's what I was looking for.
Because, like, I don't know where his offensive game is going to live. I don't think he's going to be a guy like who's going to be pulling up from mid-range jumpers. Like, I think he's going to be a guy that's really going to attack the basket and maybe hits an open 3 every now and then. It's not like, everyone's like, oh, he's shots fixed. He hit 1 3. He attempted 1 3. It's not. I mean, that was like a Markelle Fultz game. Like, Fultz hit a 3. Does Fultz shot fix?
Front page of Reddit 7 times.
Like, I mean, like, there are times that he might hit a 3. There are also times where he shoots 5 threes and misses them terribly. Like, we can't say Zion's a good shooter after 1 3.
You know what I would love to see though, and I would love to see this timeline play out. Zion and RJ go 1-2, either order. One goes to a Western Conference, one goes to an Eastern Conference team. And I would love to see those 2 players they develop into number 1 and number 2, and their teams develop into the teams that go. So it's basically
Do you think RJ
NBA
has
finals.
the potential to be the best player in the NBA?
They both do. Yeah, they both do. But I mean, I like Zion a little bit right now.
That's such high praise, especially with the guys like him. I mean, some people are like, "Oh, this is a better draft class than last year." That's like
this year is the
high
best
praise.
draft class we've seen since like 2003.
I don't know, dude.
I'll say it.
Like, I mean, R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish, Romeo Langford.
Last year's class was the best year since 2003.
No, but I've heard some people say this year.
The one coming out.
This one.
I don't know
Zion,
about that.
Cam, R.J., Romeo, Trey.
They have a
all
lot
these
of
guys.
top-end talent.
We'll see how they play out.
Sekou Demboya.
As well, yeah. I mean, like, there's a ton of guys, but...
Ball.
Ja.
I'm not high on him.
Morant.
Oh, your boy.
Literally the one man of Murray State.
I wondered why you had the Murray State.
I'm just watching him.
Like,
it's halftime. He's got 17.
He's got the Murray State box score up. I'm like, what? I'm like, is he watching John? Like,
it's the guy.
What?
That's my guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was your guy. Now
I think to answer the question, because I don't think we ever did.
Yeah.
Yes, Zion's NBA ready. Like, the kid can come in and he's not going to be hurting your team. And whether that's in a starting lineup or whether it's off the bench, he's going to be able to have those moments where you're taken away. But will he be able to take that and put it into, next level? We don't know. And, the guys that have flopped, that have had, incredible performances in college, like, a Jahlil Okafor, like, they have flopped because, again, they're probably bigger and they don't really fit today's NBA. Zion fits today's NBA.
Yeah.
He's the ability to go in positionless basketball, like Ricky said. He has the ability to guard and switch. He has the ability to not be taken off the floor because of his defensive abilities. He has the ability to take, maybe not take over a game, but he has the ability to at least score points. He's got
the momentum shifter. Like, those dunks do more. It's more than 2 points. Like,
no, for
you
sure.
talk about emotion in a game, and he's a guy who can flip a switch for a team.
But does that mean he's going to be, the best player in the NBA at some point? Most likely not. And like, if we're putting him in Draymond Green territory, I don't think so. Like,
I think Draymond Green's his floor. I'll be honest. I think Draymond Green is his floor. I think what Draymond brings to a team is at the
a
base
more
level.
athletic Draymond.
Yeah, absolutely. He's someone who can take threes. He's someone who can pass anywhere on the floor. He's very smart. He's a complete momentum shifter on that team. Like, he gets in the game. He's intense. He's everything they need. And so at his floor, that is what I see him as.
And to Ricky's point, we really don't know what his ceiling is because he is such an extremely, fresh player because we don't know what he's going to be like. But putting that ceiling at possible best player in the NBA, I disagree with
The funny note that I had was when Ricky compared him, like, Giannis. I was like, Giannis was like a twig who had played basketball for like 2 years.
No, but
at
I'm
that
saying
point.
like the
And,
Giannis
like,
now.
They're very different players. That's all I meant. It was just like I'm thinking Giannis in the draft, and I'm like, oh man, that boy had no meat on his bones, and like Giannis like sideways is like Zion's arm right now. Like he's just
And then when you look at Joe, like Joe was the same way too. Joe was a stick that didn't play basketball. So it's like
the question is with him is like, is he just gonna keep the same shape? Do you think he's gonna slim down a little bit? Do you think
there's no way he gets bigger.
I don't know. What if he starts lifting, bro?
There's no way that kid's not lifting.
No, like more. Like what if he comes in like just completely like has to go
How will he
sideways
play
through
basketball?
doors?
What if his ceiling's Larry Johnson?
I've seen that comp.
People have said that already.
I've seen that comp because yeah.
I think that could be it. Just a modern day Larry Johnson. Because Larry Johnson was a good passer. Larry Johnson was a fucking joke too. You ever see that guy's pythons? Holy shit.
The only thing I can think of is after Dave was like, what if he was lifting and did this? So what, he becomes Brock Lesnar and comes into every game with Paul Heyman?
Oh my god.
But he'd get injured the moment he takes flight. Because then he's got 400 pounds coming down with him. He'll break the fucking hoop and crack his head on fucking hardwood. Anyways, this has been a podcast, man.
It happened.
55 minutes on Jimmy to the Sixers, 55 minutes on Minnesota after Jimmy, 21 on the Wet Boys, and we got 44 on Zion. A whole mix of emotions on that Zion podcast, too. Me screaming to Ricky for the first 12 minutes, then kind of calming down, then kind of ramping it back up again, and then having a little bit more of a tempered conversation.
Sean likes to yell.
Well, again, it's just like when you put it that high, it's like I think you have to temper expectations. It's like, oh, this is gonna be the best restaurant, and you see, it's like, yeah, it was good. I don't want to oversell this kid because I want him to still have that ability to wow us.
Yeah.
Don't take that ability away to be like, holy shit, this kid is an impressive player. Because if we're expecting, oh, this kid's gonna impress us, and he goes out and impresses us, we'll be like, oh, well, he actually didn't live up to the hype.
But so far, he's knocked down a bunch of Canadian, what are they called? The games that don't really count.
Exhibitions?
Yeah, exhibitions.
Exhibition games, and then he just beat the number 2 team in the nation and just absolutely destroyed him. So I mean, and
that was also
so far so good.
It was also an inexperienced Kentucky team. Like they have a lot of freshmen on that team. We'll see what happens when they go up against a more.
I like how you say
team.
they got a lot of freshmen on that team, but Zion, Cam, and RJ are also freshmen.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying though.
He's doing it against guys who have
I wasn't
no
saying that,
so his numbers look very good.
Exactly.
Because
I'm saying, like,
ready.
if he's going up against a senior-heavy team, we will see what happens.
That's true.
I'm not trying to take away anything from Zion. Yeah.
Team like that. Any team that plays defense in college basketball, I want to see them versus them.
So Syracuse.
Give me a team with like a 3-4 year starter out there at the center.
Ooh,
Virginia.
Syracuse is a good one. Yeah, I like O'Shea Brissett. He's an athlete right there.
Let's see when DeAndre Hunter goes up against him. Who does he guard? Well, probably RJ, but we'll see.
Probably RJ.
Yep.
Anyways, Monday, January 28th, Duke's coming to Notre Dame. Just throwing it out there. 3-hour drive. All right. That's going to wrap up the podcast. If it's too long, sorry. If it's not, sorry.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I really hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it wasn't too rough. We want to thank Jake for coming on for the Jimmy 76er deal. We weren't expecting that at all. Absolute shock there. If you do want to support us, check out patreon.com/MostOutPodcast. If you don't want to do it monetarily, check out iTunes and search The Fast Break and give us a rating and give us a little bit of a comment if you feel like it. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube and comment down below if you have any thoughts. For Dave Oster, for Ricky Widmer, what's that face for?
The prices for those tickets.
The upper deck, the
it's like
lowest
150.
price is 133.
Yeah.
Upper deck, like row 12.
Zion's coming to town. Anyways, that's going to do it for the fast break. There was one other thing. Oh, yeah, the Zion thing. We're recording this after the Kentucky game, but before the Army game and Eastern Washington game, so the kid could, put up 90 points. I don't know.
Or he could break his leg.
Please don't.
Knock on wood. If it happens, blame Dave. Anyways, that's going to do it for the Fast Break podcast. Hopefully not jinxing people left and right. We'll see you next week.